Hello everyone, Larry back with you again, and what I'm working on today is something that I alluded to in a previous video, and that is working on a hoist for the sawmill in order to assist me in turning some of these larger logs. I picked up one of those hoists at Harbor Freight, and I'm going to see about what the measurements are to carry a 4x8 beam across the center of the sawmill here, or the sawmill shed, and then hopefully be able to mount that hoist onto that beam. I'll try to brace it to a rafter above it to give just a little bit extra support, and that way on these larger logs I'll be able to have some help to turn those logs over, because even though I've got a 5-foot Wood-Mizer can hook on these 16-foot, even the 14 and some of the 12s, because they're so large, it is really hard for me to be able to make that turn whenever I need to after I make my cuts, my initial cuts on the log. So that's what we're working on today. Got a fire going back here in the background. This is for my offloads or slabs, and some of the wind damaged limbs and things that we had gathered up over the past few days. But anyway, let's get started right after the video, or right after the intro that is. We'll get started on this project. I don't know exactly what all we'll get done. I've got to saw the beam, I've got to put the beam up, I've got to install the hoist, I've got to run the circuit from our panel box over here for the hoist. So got quite a bit to do. It's a Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day to you. Last unofficial day of summer, so I hope it's a good one for you. And so again, after the intro, let's get started. I'm going to start by determining where the average center or middle of the log, of an average log, would be on the bed, so that I can know where to hang the joist. So usually I start at about this log bunk here, and we'll just go down and see where 16 takes us to, and that's 13, 14, 15, 16 is all the way out past the end. So if I go back to this one and see where 16, that's going to take us to about right here. So 8, 6, 7, 8 would be about right along in here. So I think since I've got a rafter there that I can get a little bit of support off of for my beam, I think I'm going to go at about the 7-foot mark, at about this point right here, and that's where I'll hang the joist. And actually now I see that, or hang the hoist, and I see now that I can actually plug into that plug-in there, and I won't have to run another circuit, because these lights here are not pulling enough amperage or wattage, and I've got a sufficient circuit going to these lights that should work out pretty good. So I'll go here, and now next thing I'm going to do is to measure the distance across to see exactly how long that my beam needs to be. I'm probably going to sit that end of the beam on top of that 2x, and then I'll just come in here beside this one, and I think that'll work out pretty good. So let's get this measurement across here. Since I'm sitting this beam on top of this rail here, I'm going to get the measurement. And the measurement is 8 feet, exactly. So, now what I want to do is I've got a 2x4 that I just milled out of that slab that I had left over. I think I'll cut it to 8 foot as kind of my pattern. And see then, by setting it on there, where the bottom of this will be, and see if I've got enough clearance. I don't know if you can see where I'm motioning here or not, but see if I got enough clearance above, and then that way I can add on a piece of 2x here to set this joist on at this point. I would like to have this my beam directly and under, and I may notch it out right here in order to be able to get it directly and under, so that I could put my supports down, kind of my bracing or supports down on each side. So I may notch this beam out enough that it'll fit under here. So we'll see how that works out. Now what I'm going to do is to place this 2x4 up on this beam here on top of the ladder. Yeah, I can get over on the ladder now. Get it over underneath where that rafter is. I believe it's just a little bit too long, so let me go down and cut it off just a little. Make it a lot easier to get in place and actually know the dimension. I'm going to cut it off about 1/4 of an inch. This should work better this time, and now keep in mind this is just my pattern for the beam itself. Well, that is going to be just a little bit too high. Now what I think I will do is to cut my beam the distance, let it set where it needs to be level, and then that way this can come down and be level over here, because now I don't have enough room above it. So there's not enough room now here for an 8-inch beam, so I'm going to have to drop down and see just exactly where I need to be. Probably will come to the bottom of that beam over there, and just let this then fall where it will, and hopefully that will still give me enough. So let's go back and measure that distance and see how that will come out. Okay, let's see how this looks now. So the next thing now is to load a sufficient log on the mill and mill a 95 7/8 4x8 beam to go across there, and then I'll cut it up on the ends to match in place. Now I do see something, and let me lower the camera down, and you may have already noticed it, but let's check something now. And it does create an issue. The lubricant tank doesn't clear that. So let's see now what we need to do. Well, I've kind of had to change gear on my project with the idea of the wooden beam across here, because I didn't have clearance for the mill head and the lubricant tank. So what I've gone to is an idea that I'm kind of working off of a suggestion from Jenny. She mentioned something about something that could swing out of the way or something. So what this is on my barn and the tractor shed, I've got the sliding doors that uses these metal rails, and this is a track that a trolley will go down through. And what I hope to be able to do is, by supporting it on that end, supporting on this end, and then a support in the middle, using this rafter here. And I might have to eventually, I don't know of really any way to do it other than to take a brace and go down from here to that front there. But I think for what I'm trying to accomplish with the hoist, this will give me sufficient strength. And here's the main thing: by having it on the trolley, I can roll the hoist out of the way over here until I need it, and then I can just simply pull it back into place, and it will clear the hoist then will clear the sawmill as it comes down through here. This short piece here is what this rail will rest on and what my support beam will rest on. Well, not going to be able to do it that way. So let's go over to the other end and see if we can feed it on that side. Well, it is so heavy that I can't get it up there. At this point in the project, I've transitioned from a 4x8 beam down to a 3x6 beam, and as you can see here, I'm getting the measurements for this angle that comes at this point here because I don't have the space above the beam and between it and purlings for the roof to carry the 3x6 beam all the way out to the edge of the outside support beam of the building itself. So I'm getting this measurement and will make the cut on the support beam for the hoist here in just a few minutes. I'm just adding this one brace here to the rafter to give a little bit of support off the rafter to the rail and to this beam. Again, I don't know if this will provide any significant benefit to this beam and to the rail, but I just feel like it'll be a good addition. I've already got the hole drilled. Get this one through here, and then I'm going to drill the other one on the top without removing this support piece. Well, there you have it, folks. I'm going to wrap up this video on installing the hoist to turn the logs with. You saw me use the strap. I saw a video the other day where they actually had a hook, and that might be something that I look into later. I had the strap, so it made it real easy to use that today. Thank you for joining us here on the video today. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Leave a comment down below. I would really like to hear some comments on this hoist situation. So until next time, folks, this is Larry. I hope you have a great one. And by the way, happy Labor Day to you. See you.